Are you watching a TV show, a play, a movie, an ode to America's Industrial Revolution, or scientific fiction? Is it catharsis of grief? Is it an allegory for the pandemic? Is it commentary on the importance of storytelling? Is it Shakespearean? Yes. Hey y'all, my name is Sucharita. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about films, film festivals, occasionally with people making films. आज finally बात करने मिलेगी about Wes Anderson's Asteroid City जो मैंने कैन में देखी थी. It's now in movie theaters in India. Globally online rentals तो हैं.
Did I say yes?
You didn't say anything.
I meant yes. My mouth didn't speak.
किसी फिल्ममेकर से उम्मीद रखना या अपेक्षा करना कि इसकी फिल्म है तो इस तरह की होगी, जाहिर है इज अ रिडक्टिव वे ऑफ लुकिंग एट देयर वर्क. क्रिएटिव थॉट को ऐसे बॉक्स इन करके एक टाइप दे देना इज टू सिंप्लीफाई इट टू मच. हाउएवर दिस वेस एंडरसन फिल्म इज सो वेस एंडरसन, सो आउटसाइड ऑफ एनी जॉनरा, यू कांट पॉसिबली क्लासिफाई इट एज एनीथिंग एल्स. कोशिश करके देख लो. दिस इज अ वेस एंडरसन मूवी, अ कल्मिनेशन ऑफ एवरीथिंग वेस एंडरसन that's come before. I would suggest Asteroid City की टिकट सुबह का जो फर्स्ट शो अवेलेबल होगा वो बुक करना इस वीकेंड because you need to be wide awake and well fed for this movie. We meet Augie Steenbeck, an off-duty war photographer driving his 4 children to a science felicitation ceremony जहां his eldest son Woodrow is winning a prize as a young innovator. Augie also has to break to his children that their mother has died. This event is taking place on Asteroid Day at a site जहां 3700 BC में एक meteorite धरती पे गिरा था और अब उस क्रेटर के पास एक मोटेल है, कुछ वेंडिंग मशीन्स, एक रेल रोड एंड एरिड लैंड अप फॉर सेल. Slowly you get to meet the other families whose children are also being felicitated. A bus full of school kids, young space cadets with a teacher on a picnic, and a group of singing cowboys join the proceedings. Oh, and an alien. I'm not being facetious when I say कि सुबह देखना क्योंकि Asteroid City is the densest movie I've seen in a minute. Further in this review, I don't have the option but to talk about some aspects that are not there in the trailer. Alright, मैं अभी आपको बता रही हूँ. The setup I explained above is an imaginary play being written by Conrad Earp, जिसका writing process is then being shown to an audience watching TV at home. Only the sequences in the film that seem most real, the color ones, are entirely imaginary. Maybe they are in Conrad Earp's head, maybe they are in the made-for-TV show. We don't know. Means everyone in the film Asteroid City is in a double role, an actor and the character they play. So if you look even closer, in my opinion, some of these characters are in a triple role as people who are hired to play actors in a TV show that's about a stage play, जिसमें they are also playing the final character. None of this is a spoiler, TBH, क्योंकि ये सब explain किया जाता है in the very first scene by सूत्रधार Bryan Cranston, a TV show host. Asteroid City is not breaking the fourth wall. There simply are no walls here. It's reality TV, it's a documentary, it's Wes Anderson refusing to give two shits about form or rules of the medium. At the end of Pedro Almodovar's Oscar-nominated semi-autobiographical movie Pain and Glory, and what I'm about to say now is a spoiler for that film, you realize part of what you were seeing through the movie was actually the very movie being shot, right? Penelope Cruz was playing the actor, playing Salvador's mother. Asteroid City is kind of like that, raised to the power of infinity, as writer Conrad Earp himself describes his play. Wes Anderson is fully cognizant of the confusion he has chosen to serve, and I don't think he expects you to understand his version of his vision. Everything, and I mean everything, is up for interpretation. Considering the protagonist of the whole thing, the actor playing Jones Hall, playing Augie Steenbeck, at one point goes off stage, straight to the director, and says, I don't understand what this play is about. In a way, despite all the above concentric circles, Asteroid City felt like the most real-world Wes Anderson movie in recent time, and before you insinuate multiple viewings of the movie have contributed to my cognitive disorientation, let me explain. Now, when you usually watch this director's work, you enter his world, but somehow, as viewer, you are aware that the action is happening in a movie set. He's not known for realism. Here, shayad pehli baar, he's telling you what you are seeing are sets. He's acknowledging that you are an audience watching a play being staged, but you're also a stay-at-home audience watching black and white TV in the 50s. The fact that you're in a movie theater IRL watching all of the above is what you need to work on forgetting. Now, this is a very difficult task, considering our minds can process time and space in a linear fashion for the most part. Honestly, Asteroid City is more Oppenheimer-esque than I expected it to be, which was 0%. To begin with, the colored and black and white perceptions of reality. Then the fact that they are both set around the same time in America. Both feature atomic bomb testing, yes. American military and sitting president trying to control things. A woman losing her life in a bathtub, science experiments in arid land. At one point, a man talks to a woman, both in balconies across from each other. The woman dead in a manner of speaking, which is not Oppenheimer, but very similar to a Leonardo DiCaprio and Marion Cotillard moment in Inception. And I'm sure I'll find more parallels on a third viewing of Asteroid City.
What's happening now?
I don't know.
I apologize for drawing the above parallels. I understand कि ये कोई ज़्यादा ऐसे मैंने creative Easter eggs नहीं ढूंढ के निकाले हैं. It's just something I couldn't help noticing, also considering how close together both the films have released. But coming back to my original point, the people in Asteroid City are real, they are relatable, once you allow yourself to look beyond the Nolan-esque turns of the screenplay. Now, in one of these triple roles, seeming parts that I was talking about, Scarlett Johansson is an actor playing Mercedes Ford. Mercedes Ford is an actor hired by Conrad Earp and his director Schubert Green to play Midge Campbell. Midge Campbell is a mother of one of the award-winning kids in Asteroid City, but she's also an actor who spends most of her time in the play talking about her acting. It's anyone's guess why Wes Anderson and co-writer Roman Coppola have padded this character with so many layers, but I'm assuming it's their attempt to highlight the absurdity of the acting profession. When your literal job is to be untruthful and pretend, yet the very nature of the job requires you to bring an honesty to it derived from lived experiences, where does one draw the line?
My word, it's hot.
When Midge complains about the desert heat, she says that she's wilting like a petunia, in response to which her teenager daughter replies, "Humans don't wilt." And then Midge says, almost to herself, don't they? Who is saying the line? Midge or Mercedes? Augie, the war photographer, whose triplet daughters all have celestial names, by the way, he's actually a gay actor, Jones Hall, in a relationship with Conrad Earp. Is he mourning the loss of his wife in the play, or a tragic loss in his real life? You decide. Aside from being a movie about the power of storytelling, Asteroid City also is Americana. Two characters are named after presidents, Woodrow and the sitting president from the time the movie is set in 1955, Dwight, who also gets a whole song sequence. The character Dwight, not the president. Also, despite my very Indian sensibilities, I don't think that naming characters after major American brands was just a coincidence. There's Ford, Campbell, Stanley, Kellogg, Gibson. A planet is named Magnavox 27, which is literally the name of a TV sold in the 50s, probably on which the show is being watched. Maybe I'm reading too much into it because there is also German brands Steenbeck and Mercedes, but maybe I'm not, because there is a whole monologue by a cowboy about how aliens are good, and just because they're culturally different from us, it doesn't make them bad. We are also told that the director of the play is a very German-sounding Shiloh Grzybowski, an immigrant who changed his name to Schubert Green. The actor playing the alien, and I will let you discover who the actor is when you watch the movie, says that he doesn't quite know what the alien is a metaphor for, as Schubert walks by him. I admit the subtle subtext here wasn't something I caught on my first viewing, but the second time I watched it, it hit me harder than I care to admit. On some level, Asteroid City is also nihilistic. It reminds you how pointless pretty much everything is despite the busyness of our lives. After an alien appears and steals the meteorite, the whole place is shut down and it's put under quarantine. Wes Anderson said at the Cannes post-screening press conference that he perhaps would not have written this in if we weren't actually experiencing a global pandemic at the time. And just like the existential crises nearly all of us went through in 2020, the film is also wondering कि किसी भी चीज का point क्या? You're shown an unexplained car chase with people shooting at each other. No one asks a question. There's no reason except that it's America and people just have guns. A road runner appears going meep meep like the cartoon. Vending machines sell you soda, cigarettes, martinis and real estate all at the same time. And yet when the quarantine lifts, everyone goes back to normal. Like none of this ever happened. Like they didn't see an actual alien land among them.
I don't like the way that guy looked at us. The alien.
Oh, and what a group of people he has in place to express this. Tom Hanks, Tilda Swinton, Maya Hawke, Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Adrian Brody, Liev Schreiber, Steve Carell, Edward Norton, Jeffrey Wright, 3 to 4 major superstar cameos. It's like People could sense that an actor's strike was on the horizon because between this, Oppenheimer and Barbie, half of Hollywood has had gainful employment until recently. Wes Anderson's visual style has always been precise. The peculiar way in which actors in his movies perform is comically measured, controlled. Not a single hand movement is extra, no one even shrugs their shoulders out of time. And yet, Asteroid City unfolds like a dream almost. You're the playwright imagining a world that does not exist, one detail at a time, and bringing it to life when you awaken. In one of the more bizarre sequences, a whole group of actors chant, "You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep," as though in a trance. And by the time the sequence arrives in the film, it can mean 50 different things, ranging from does one need to wake up against government control before it's too late, to simply the importance for a long night's rest for the creative brain. Again, you decide. The movie is in theaters. I dare say it's been designed to watch at least twice. तो time निकाल के मेरे कहने पर 2 बार देखना.
You were very
Actually, maybe my favorite character ever.
I don't know why nobody else liked it.
Oh.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, Asteroid City is one entire sequence is an homage to Satyajit Ray. It's hard to miss. जाके देखो मूवी एंड कमेंट्स में बताओ कौन सी सीक्वेंस है. इतना लंबा रिव्यू किया इस बार कि बैठ के करना पड़ा. आप एक बार शेयर कर दो किसी के साथ, है ना? My name is Sucharita. Thank you for stopping by.